as somebody who's had 2 feet of their colon taken out, their terminal ileum removed, and their appendix removed, I know firsthand how much it sucks to live with Crohn's disease. And so this video is to talk about the 5 foods that I eat that help make Crohn's and bile acid malabsorption suck less. So let's get started. The first one is going to be pure sugar-free applesauce. And so I take this medicine. It's called chlorostyramine. I think I'm saying that right. But anyways, this powder that I have to take every day, and it helps me normally digest food that I eat. And without it, the medicine, pretty much everything that I eat goes through my body in a couple of hours, 24 hours a day, and it again sucks a lot. And there are some creators out there that I've seen that are in the Crohn's space that they're living with this, and my heart goes out to them because I know firsthand how much it sucks not having an ileum, and I've been going through that since I was 28, and I'm not, and that was a long time ago, as you can see, so the reason I like the applesauce is that this powder is real kind of heavy, so it'll be mixed with water or certain kind of drinks. The powder just kind of goes to the bottom, and it's really kind of just gross when you're drinking it. And so trying to make this powder palatable, it's been kind of a life journey of mine ever since I've been taking it, because again, it provides me a huge quality of life boost. And so I found that mixing this powder with pure no sugar added, just apples, applesauce, because again, if I'm eating the applesauce with high fructose corn syrup in it, that's not going to do anything good for my stomach, and it kind of just makes the medicine not work as well, as this kind of tastes gross. I can immediately tell if I'm eating applesauce and it has added sugar in it, because it just tastes gross to me. And so so I mix this medicine with the applesauce, sits really well in my stomach, and allows me to not only eat everything else on this list, but it just helps me have a great quality of life. So it allows me to work and take care of my family, and kind of work on all the things I like to work on. And so that's number one, applesauce. So number two is going to be, I would say, Asian food. And so specifically, my 2 favorites that really sit well on my stomach are Japanese food and Korean food. And specifically in the Japanese food area, even though I love almost the entire menu on a Japanese restaurant, or the entire menu in a Korean place, but Japanese food is specifically sushi. So like nigiri and sashimi, with rice or without rice, very, very, very high quality fresh fish. Most of that, sits very, very well on my stomach, and I can eat a lot of it and get really full and feel like I'm getting good protein and everything into my body. I just love it. And so definitely sushi and Korean food. There's a lot of fermented things in Korean food, and even though it's not some of my favorite stuff, I still try it when I can. So just because I know it's going to sit well on my stomach. Also the bulgogi and other things that I can't pronounce, but just in the whole kind of realm of Korean food, I love it. And so tastes good, it makes me feel good. And so I would say number 3 in my list is going to be smoothies. So I'm a huge smoothie guy, lifelong smoothie guy. When I was little or younger, and I would say in high school and everything, I used to love this place called a Smoothie King. They're still around, and they had this one specific smoothie called a Hulk, and I used to love it. It's a strawberry Hulk, and it has something like, I think like 32 ounces, something like 900 calories or something in it. And even I've never been a big guy, because of Crohn's disease and everything else, and so I've always been trying to figure out ways to put on weight. And so when I was high school, early 20s, things like that, I used to love going to Smoothie King all the time and getting their smoothies. And so I still love them, but now that since I've had the other surgery with a bile acid malabsorption, that specific type of smoothie no longer sits well on my stomach, even though I still like it. And so, but as far as other smoothies now, in general, I love smoothies that have fruit and vegetables in them. So that way I don't feel like I'm just getting a big sugar bomb. So every smoothie that I get now, I may go to a tropical smoothie, or if I make smoothies at home, which I still do a lot, I always try to make sure that there's a fruit and a vegetable kind of combination in all those, and that can be all kind of different things. It can be orange and carrot, or it can be beets, or spinach or whatever. It really doesn't matter because there's a lot of ways you can kind of mask that kind of vegetable flavor with with balancing out fruit and some other things in it. So yeah, love it, and and that way I can get all the nutrients that that I'm not getting a lot of the time from bile acid malabsorption, and so I'm always looking for ways to kind of get those vitamins in me. Yeah, and so that's number three. So applesauce, Asian food like Japanese and Korean food, and then number three would be smoothies. So number four, I would say that helps me get through the day when I can, when I get my hands on it, is something called Kate Farms meal replacement shakes. And so with again with Crohn's, a lot of times you're in a flare or you're just not feeling well, and the idea of eating a whole bunch of food just sounds like it's just going to make everything a whole lot worse. And so finding something that can get nutrients into your body that will almost sit as inertly and non-inflammatory as possible is is always something that I'm looking for. And so the meal replacement shakes like Ensure or Slim Fast or the generic brands in the grocery store, almost all of those don't sit well in my stomach. And so what I found is that there's a brand called Kate Farms, and Kate Farms makes a meal replacement shake that's very, very high end, and it's the same thing that they use in the hospitals and in medical environments for folks that are on completely liquid diets. So you actually can drink these. I think they have maybe 350 or something like that, 400 calories or something. They're actually really, really good, size, calories and stuff, and they're still the same, I would say, serving size that you're used to with a Ensure, but just really nutrient dense, but very easy on the stomach. The only problem, I love those, and vanilla one's really good. But the only problem is that they're expensive because they're good, and so you can get them on Amazon. But they're like between $4 and $5 a serving, and so that's in a 12-pack. That can get very expensive very fast, right? And so I think there's some insurance programs where you can get those shakes, covered by your insurance, and that's something that I've been trying to get done myself. And so that would be number four is meal replacement shakes, specifically Kate Farm shakes when I get my hands on them, and those help tremendously. And I would say. Sometimes I make those meal replacement shakes at home because again, those are expensive. And so, in addition to the smoothies, I also make shakes. And so I have some protein powder that's I think it's pea protein or something like that. That's supposed to be very easy on the stomach. It's unflavored, and so I've been experimenting with that. Adding like the protein powder, like milk, frozen bananas. Vanilla, those kind of things. Maybe some oat milk ice cream to make it a shake or something, and just to try to get some calories and protein and everything else as a meal replacement. And so that's number four, and I would say number five of the top five foods that help me get through the day and make Crohn's suck less is breakfast food. I can eat breakfast food all day, all night, and so I love the turkey bacon, the eggs, the rice, the fresh fruit, washing it down with a herbal tea or something like that. I love herbal teas also. They can, for digestion or for, relaxation or whatever it is, I don't have to sweeten them necessarily. And if I do, I can just put, fruit in there and it still works, or maybe a little bit of honey, and that works too. But that's rare. I usually drink a lot of my teas plain. And so, so breakfast food, love breakfast food. A lot of that can sit really easily on my stomach, and so that's what I got. So my top five foods that I eat that make Crohn's suck less for me, as a guy who's had 2 feet of his colon taken out, his ileum taken out, has all this medical stuff happen, and so it's going to be applesauce, so I can take my medicine and actually enjoy life. Number two, Asian food, specifically Japanese food and Korean food. Love it. Number three, smoothies of all kinds, and especially fruit and vegetable smoothies. Number four, meal replacement shakes. And if I can get my hands on them, Kate Farm shakes. If not, I try to make these at home. Using my own protein powder. And number five, breakfast food. and also as maybe a side bonus of that, herbal teas. And so that's what I got. If you like this list, please support the channel. Thanks.